Italy and the supercar. It's impossible to separate one from the other. The most powerful and the most exquisite automobiles coming from the land of art, passion, and of course, an undeniable addiction to horsepower. On this episode of Rides, it's off to Italia for the first in-depth look at what some would say is the most super of all supercars on the road today. With only a few thousand made and sold to date, it's one of the reasons why dreams exist. It's the Italian machine that has set the standard for a very select group, and it's being made before our very eyes. This is Rides.
You flash your headlights and these people move out of the way at 180 kilometers, 200 kilometers, and it's incredible.
Start the engine and just feel it rumbling and it just growls at you.
I see a lot of testosterone.
You don't have any trunk space, you don't have any cup holders. It's, you know, literally like engine and a driver. It's like really the beast.
It's a beast bred for both beauty and strength. If you don't own one, you've seen them in your rearview mirror, but only for a split second. And even then, you knew it was a Lamborghini.
Lamborghini's the king of exotics to me.
My boyfriend traded me for a Lamborghini. I understand after driving in it. I'm fine with it.
It's amazing how there are only a few Lambos, but there are a lot of stories about them.
The first Lamborghini I drove was Mike Tyson's. I was about 9 years old. I just learned how to drive stick shift.
Once you sit in the first time in your life, when you feel acceleration, it's like, it's just crazy.
These Lamborghinis are in Santa Monica, California, all getting ready for a jaunt called the Running of the Bulls. It's an annual road trip, an American celebration of an Italian legend. And it's that Italian part that a lot of these owners are into, knowing that their car comes from a place where a great deal of heart goes into every handcrafted ride.
And a lot of passion, you know. That's one thing cool about the Italian manufacturers. Everything the Italians do in life, they really pour their heart and soul into it, and I think it shows in the cars.
So now we make our way from Southern California to Sant'Agata Bolognese, the home of a certain factory, a certain museum, and of course, a very certain bull. Lamborghini Automobili is the place that honors and builds, with the Lamborghini Museum and factory standing as symbols of both the past and the future. Since 1963, the plant has turned out only a relative handful of cars, each one, in its own way, a work of art. Today, this entire plant is dedicated to one thing: handmade supercars. And the newest big bull in the stable is this car. It's a ride that some call perfection. Others call it by its name, Murcielago. With a $273,000 price tag, its 48-valve V12 engine hits speeds of over 200 miles per hour. The Murcielago was designed by a relative newcomer, Luc Donkerwolke.
I went to Porsche, I went to other famous car companies, I went to Ferrari, and I never imagined coming to Lamborghini because it was always this mythical company that you don't know exactly where they are. And the first time I crossed the gate, it was actually to work here, and I couldn't believe it. I always thought I was going to wake up, and it was not real to be here making a Lamborghini.
And the Lambo he made was the Murcielago, a hit of a car that quickly spawned a roadster prototype.
We showed in Detroit as a concept car. Not sure if people would want to accept now a car which was so uncompromising. The result was so positive, the feedback, that we decided to basically go for it.
And so now they're going for it, building Murcielago Roadsters. So if ever there was a Lambo to follow through assembly, it would be this car. And with all of the leather, the forged engine parts, the hand-built body, the chassis, and the rest of the supplies fully in stock, it's time to build a new Murcielago Roadster. The carbon fiber shell on its tubular steel chassis combines for a lightweight but extremely rigid body. As it's rolled onto the official assembly line, it'll be hit with everything from wiring, braces, suspension, an Italian leather interior, and a state-of-the-art powertrain. The first stage of the assembly involves hooking it up to a rotisserie. Another preliminary move is all about protecting the finish. And it's not an ordinary run-of-the-mill paint job. The shell comes pre-painted from Milan, and you can choose from 20 stock colors. Next, the plumbing begins. Brakes, fuel lines, and any other installation that can only climb on board at this early stage of the build. Other early arrivals include pieces and panels that will work to either deaden the sound or keep some of the heat out of the passenger compartment. Because with the car being a mid-engine model, that thing inches from your back will be a hot and heavy V12. Like a Formula One racer, the underside of the Lambo is built for aerodynamics. This is because at high speeds, the airflow underneath the car can actually cause lift. Not a problem when you're cruising the freeway at 65 miles per hour, but it's a big problem when you hit the German Autobahn doing 180. This crew has to be careful. They're handling a very expensive piece of art, with the quarter panels and the rear bumper each coming in at 10 grand a piece. With prices like that, it's easy to see where the term supercar came from. Creating a supercar is one thing. Creating one with this much history and mystique is yet another animal, especially if you're the one designing the car.
I remember always the cover of this Lamborghini Portofino, and the title was "Are you man enough to drive this?" And this is all about Lamborghini. Is that Lamborghini? You don't drive them. Lamborghinis let you drive them, and but you have to be good enough to drive them.
To many Lamborghini owners, there's really only one man who's good enough to drive them. His name is Valentino Balboni, and there's no doubt that he is part of the mystique of this car. While we'll get into his line of work a bit later, we will say this about the man. He probably has the coolest job in the entire automotive world. And the ongoing build of our Murcielago Roadster, well, it's time to take the bull by the horns and move it along. Back with the running of the bulls in Southern California, this pack of Lamborghini owners gets ready for their group trip up the coast. We want to hear even more about them and their rides, but before that, we have to return to this beauty's problem. She claims she was part of a very interesting swap.
I'm an actress on Nip Tuck. I play a girl named Kimber Henry, and I was last year traded for a Lamborghini. My boyfriend traded me for a Lamborghini. And so that's why Lamborghini invited me out. I understand after driving in it. I'm fine with it.
Just get in, forget about the world. No cell phones, no pagers. Just get in and enjoy life. Just feel the road and be one with the car. And I like to go a lot faster than he does, so we have to kind of meet in the middle somewhere on that.
They look so cool, you might forget how fast they are. Begging the question, how fast have you gone in your Lamborghini?
I've only driven at about 100.
140.
Yeah.
Though you probably didn't know that.
No, I didn't. That's a new one for me. I didn't know.
The fastest I've been is towards Vegas, 160 miles an hour.
So if an average car makes that trip in 6 hours, how long does it take in a Lamborghini?
3.5 hours. We made some stops, fill up gas.
Last year we had a Candy Apple SB with about 600 horsepower, and we did 187.5.
Since everybody near a Lambo has amazing tales of speed, we might be ready to examine the Major League. Checking in with that man named Valentino Balboni. Having spread the question throughout our California brigade, it's time to ask him.
I think 345 km/h.
Now, for those of you who are about to run out to your car dashboard so you can calculate a conversion, don't bother. Your speedometer doesn't even come close to having that number on it.
This was Murcielago on the German motorways. It's a nice feeling, it's a beautiful feeling.
Driving 215 miles per hour on the German Autobahn in a 2-ton rocket. See, Balboni is a test driver.
Being a test driver is something. Being a test driver at Lamborghini is something different. He's much more than a car tester for me. He's the person that links the past to the future.
Well, the past and the future are both here at Lamborghini, where the museum shows history while the factory creates history.